Hello, welcome back. So today we are going to be diving into the JavaScript operators. They are essential for anyone looking to become proficient in JavaScript programming. Operators are the building blocks of expressions and statements. They allow you to manipulate data, perform calculations, make decisions, and control the flow of your programs. So the following are supported in JavaScript. I have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponentiation, increments, and decrements. So we're going to talk about a few others, but now let's just declare some variables and start with the basic ones. So we're going to say something like let's a equals, let's just say 2 plus 6, just anything, it doesn't really matter. So let's say console.log. Actually, we should have declared a few other variables just to see what is going on. So here we can see, right, we're using the plus operator here, and it's giving us, it's acting as an addition, which is what it is, right? So now let me just declare some more variables. Let's say, let b equals, let's say 8 minus 1. I'll just go ahead and continue declaring. 33, let's say, divided by 3. It doesn't really matter. It can be anything. Let's say d, let d equals 20. Let's use the multiplication operator. Multiply by 2. So what do we have? So let's just console all this together so we don't, we manage our space. So let's console.log b, comma c, comma d. So let's see what we get. Let's come out here. You can see, right? So the first one is b, which is the result of this subtraction operator. And then we have the division operator and then the multiplication operator. So we divide 33 by 3, we get 11. We divide 20 we multiply 20 by 2. We get 40. It's as simple as that. Just, you know, what we covered in basic math. Okay. So now one thing that we should know about this operation is this. So the first 4, they basically act as binary operators here. You can see this first 4. So a binary operator is an operator that works with 2 operands, and it performs an operation between the 2 operands and return a result. Just like we noticed here, right? This is an operator. It's an addition operator, okay? And it performs an operation on these 2 operands. So 2 in this case and the 6, the 2 and the 6 are they are called operands, okay? 8 and 1 here, they are operands. 33 and 3 here, they are operands. 20 and 2, they are operands, okay? So the operator we have in between them are basically the operators, just as the name implies, okay? So just as we have in this operation, so the addition operator adds the 2 operands together, okay? And so actually, let me write that. It's something that should be worthy of note. So binary, actually comment it out. So we know how to comment that out. You can use Ctrl// on your Windows, or you use Command/ if you're on a Mac like me. So we have the binary operator, which is the most common one, okay? And we have the unary, the unary operator. Okay, and the ones that what we are doing right here, they are basically binary operation, okay, because we have 2 operands. So let's see, when can we have a unary? So a unary operator essentially is an operator that works with a single operand, and it performs an operation on the operand and returns a new value, okay? Most time it's used to convert essentially the unary plus, okay? It's used to convert the operand to a number, and we're going to see shortly. So let's say let's declare a variable. Let's say let x equals 5, and let's say what should we say? So let's just declare some variables. Okay, so I'm going to say let's y equals let's use this one as a string. I just want to prove something here. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So now I'm going to say I'm going to reassign, or let me just do an assignment of another variable. Let's say v or z equals unary x, like something like this. Okay, so and let's okay, let's use v equals unary plus there. Let's have let's use y. Okay, so let's see what happens. So we're going to console.log. We're going to console the z, and then we're going to console.log the v. Okay, let's see what happens. So what do we get? You can see, right, for the z we have 5, which makes sense, right? Because it's already plus. It's not going to do any magic, and I mean, make the plus is not going to do some crazy stuff. It's already a number. But in the case of y, it's converted this 12 to a number. You can be like, oh, 12 is already a number. It's not a number, right? In the data, if you remember last time when I was talking about the concept of the data type, we said that even though this thing it's looking like an integer, it's not integer because it's wrapped in a quotes, okay, in double quotes. So it's a string. It's of the string type. So I'm going to say this is a string type. Okay, it's a string. It's not a number. When we say number, we mean something. This one is a number. Okay, it's already a number, right? Awesome. So this unary operation here converted the y, which is a string, converted it to a number. And as we can see, you can see that it's coming from the line 27, right? It's coming from the line 27. And then yeah, it's as simple as that. So the unary plus converts its operand. In this case, the operand is this this y. In this case, the operand is this hex. Okay, so it's just one operand, unlike the binary operation where we have 2 operands, right? 2 operands like this, right? So okay, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time on that, but just to make it a little more, you know, clearer, okay, I'm just going to say something again. I'm going to say something like let's q, or let me say w, equals minus x. Okay, so let's see what happened with that. Console.log w, what happens? What are we getting here? You see what we get? So it converted it to what? It negates its operand. So the unary minus operator basically negates its operand. Okay, so we can have that also, and that is really cool. Okay, so now let me see. We have the division and we have the modulus. Okay, so let's look at. We already talked about the division, right? So let's look at the modulus. Okay, so I'm just going to come down a little. So basically in JavaScript, the remainder operator, which is also denoted as, I mean, by the percent, even though it's denoted by the percent symbol, it's not, you know, related to percent. Okay, it's just used to denote what we get after we divide, let's say, a particular integer a by another integer b. Okay, and we could divide anything, and we're going to see now. Okay, so essentially okay, let's type and see something in action. Let's say 9. Let me see, trying to prove some. Okay, let's say 2. Yeah, this should work. Let's just declare some variables. Okay, let's say let's use o. We have not used, oh sorry, o equals let's say 14 modulus 3. Okay, so let's see what that gives us. Okay, so we are going to do something like console.log console.log hem. Actually, let's do it. Oh, well, let me do it then separately. Console.log, what do we have there? Whole. Okay, so let's see what we get. And then we get what? We get 1 and we get 2. Okay, so someone might ask, oh, 9 divided by 2, it's not 1. 14 divided by 3 is not 2, right? So we are not dividing here. We are not just dividing here, right? What we're interested in is the modulus, is the remainder. Okay, what is left after we perfectly divide 9 by 2? Okay, so usually we divide 9. When we divide 9 by 2, what we can, how many times can we divide? Can 2 goes in 9, right? That is how to look at it. So it can goes in 4 times perfectly, right? And then it remains 1. Okay, so just think of it like this. Okay, 9 divided by 2, that would be let's do it like this: 2, 2, 2, and then we have another 1 left. Okay, so this is 2, 2, 2, 2. So we have like 4 chunks of 2, and then we have just one item remaining, okay, by itself. So that is what we are interested in. That is the modulus, okay, the remainder. And the same thing applies here, right? I don't want to be, doing that for this also, but that is essentially what is happening. We were able to divide 14 by 3, and then we have 2 remaining. Okay, so 3 goes in 14 about 4 times, and then we have 2 remaining. That is not up to 3. So that's why we have 2 here. Okay, and as you can see, it's coming from line 36. This one is coming from line 36, where we are logging this to the console, this item here. Okay, so that is as simple as that. Okay, it's as simple as that. So let's do quickly, let's look at the exponentiation, okay, which is kind of similar to what we have in basic math. So I'm just going to say let's see, we have used A, B, C, D, I think. Let's use F. Let's F equals 2 exponential 2. Yeah, that should work. And then let's say F G. Let G equals, let's say 2, something that we should be able to, to solve easily and confirm the result. So let's say console.log, what is that? F. Actually, let's do it together so we save time. Okay, so we have this. So let's see what we get. And as you can see, right, expectedly we have 2 raised to power 2, right, is equal to 4, and then 2 raised to power 4 is equal to 16. And I believe we all know that. Okay, that's some basic math right there. All right, so now let's dive into some more interesting stuff. Okay, so I'm going to comment out and write the topic, just like a subtopic. Okay, I'm going to say string operation, string, or let me just say string concatenation. Okay, let's say with binary, because that is what it is. Okay, binary plus. So we are going to, basically what we are trying to do here is to add 2 things together. Okay, it's like saying let A plus B. Okay, but in this case our A and B are going to be some string. Okay, some string types. So let's say let's say FGH. Let's H equals okay, let's use let's say Obama. Okay, and then we're going to say plus Obama, Barack Obama. They should both be string. Okay, so we have this right now. Can you guess what this is going to be? Console.log, if we say H, what are we going to get? Let's see what we're going to get. Expectedly, right? So when you had 2 strings together using the plus the addition operator, you are essentially merging. Okay, you are merging, and you are going to do this a lot. You're going to do this a lot of time. Okay, in JavaScript, if you start writing big programs, you're going to be doing a lot of this. But of course, right, in real life application, we are not going to be throwing out Barack Obama like this without the space. Okay, so to introduce the space, all we need to do is to just add another string here with an empty space, and then add another plus. Okay, another plus there, and then we're going to have it well written out. If we come here now, we're going to see a space between this, and as you can see, because we now have a space, that is why this moved to the next line, right? Because we are limited by the space that we have right here. Okay, so now I'm just going to do something just so that you know that for sure we do have a space. I'm just going to reduce this to bar or bar, whatever. Okay, let's see. You can see, right, we do have that space there. Okay, so that is as simple as that, and that is just an example of string operation. Okay, so we could also do things like, okay, let's do something just to prove something to you. So we have used h high. Okay, let's say let high equals string 1 plus a number 2. Okay, let's just declare some and see what happens. Hi jk string, let's j equals 2 plus another 1 actually. Okay, then let's see what we get here. Let's see what we get. So we are going to do console.log hi. I want this on a separate line, so console.log j. Okay, now let's see what we get here. You see, right, we get 1 2, we get 2 1, right? So if we have one item as a string and the other one as a number, we see what happens, right? The binary plus basically converts this one to what? To a string. So what we have here is a string, it's not a number. If it's a number, it's going to be in this color. Okay, this color coding. So the conversion of, the binary plus is converting this this number to what? To a string, because here we have a string, so it's converting this second one to a string, because we cannot add a string to a number, right? So that is why we are getting this. Someone might say, oh, this should be 3, right? It should be 1 plus 2 is equal to 3, right? It's not, okay, because this is not a number, it's a string. And the same thing happens here, right? So regardless whether this is coming first or second, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be treated as a string, and it's just going to merge it. So what is happening here is merging. Okay, just like what we have up there, right? It's merging. Also this here, this place is also merging. Okay, so but if we have something like this, then it's all going to change. Okay, j I j k k. I'm just looking for trying to exhaust the alphabets. Okay, so let's say k equals 2 plus 2. Let's say plus actually let's use a string. Okay, actually let me use let's use 1 and let's see what happens. So I'm going to predict this. This is going to be 4 1. Okay, and why is that? We're going to see shortly. So console.log. Okay, let's see what happens. It's going to be 4 1, and it's not 41. Okay, it's just a string 4 1. Okay, as we can see, right, we have 4 1. And why is that? Why is it not 2 2 1? It's not 2 2 1 because the operation starts from the left to the right, like it starts from here going downward like this. Okay, so we have 2 plus 2. Then when it gets to this place, you realize that, oh, there's a string here, and then it just concatenates. Okay, it concatenates, and then it becomes 41. Okay, which is not a number, it's a string. Okay, awesome. So one thing that we need to note is that the binary plus is the only operator that supports strings in such a way. Okay, other arithmetic operators work only with numbers and always convert their operands to numbers. Okay, so just as we're going to see now. Okay, let's say what should I say? Let's KL. Let L equals 6 minus string of 2. Okay, and let's lm, let m equals let's just say string of say 5, or let's say 6, just so it's easy. 6 divided by another string of 2, and let's see what we get from there. It looks like we have used m before. Okay, mn. Okay, awesome. So now we are going to say console.log L, and we are also going to say console.log n. Okay, so let's see what we get. I'm actually interested. Okay, you see, right, we have 4 and we have 3. That is interesting. So that is because this is a subtraction, it's a minus operator. In JavaScript, when we have this minus operator, it converts this string, it basically pass this string and pass the ints and use the ints for the operation that is going to happen. Okay, and that is why we have 6 minus 2 and it's equal to 4, right? And here we have 6 divided by 2 and is equal to 3. Okay, it is as simple as that. So it converts both operands to number in that second one, and that is as simple as that. So now we're going to quickly look into the numerics. I like the numerics, the numeric conversion. Let's see. Okay, so let's use okay, actually let's use some, okay, let's say n o p q n o. Okay, I think I've used o p q. Let's p equals I'm just using some variable names that are easy. Okay, so I don't have to waste time looking for variable names. That could be a daunting task. So let's q. I think I've used q before, but let's try. Let's see. Okay, I've not used it. If I've used it, it's going to have some sort of underline there. Plus this. Let's see what happens. So here it's going to convert also, but let's see. Console.log p and console.log q. Let's see what happens. I'm always, very excited to see what happens. Okay, you can see, right, we have 1 and it's coming from line 63 right here, and we have 0. And how is that? What is that? What is going on? So we have true, but it's telling us it's 1, and here we have a empty string and it's telling us it's 0. How is that possible? Anyway, what is happening here is simple. So we are having a unary plus operator here, and it's basically converting this to the number equivalence. Okay, so the number equivalence of true is 1, the number equivalent of false is 0, and what is happening here is more or less like a falsy value, which is empty string. Okay, it's falsy, meaning that it's close to being a lie. Okay, I mean being not true, not necessarily a lie. Okay, so yeah, so it's a falsy value, but this plus is basically converting it to what? To the number equivalence. And we can actually do the same thing, with the inbuilt number method, and something like this. Instead of using this method, we could just say, let's just console.log number and open another bracket, and let's throw in, actually not throwing, let's say true. Okay, let's see what that gives us. It's going to be 1. You can see, right, it's going to be 1. So this number converts this item into the equivalence, into its number equivalence. Okay, so now I'm going to let's see, we need some space to console.log. Let's remove all those ones. Let's comment them out. Okay, so that we can have some breathing space right here. So let's see what we have. Okay, cool, we have some breathing space. Let's comment out this one also. We don't need it anymore. We can always you can always rewind this video, to see what is happening to each of those things that we are doing. Awesome. So let's do some binary plus. Let's use some binary plus down here. Let's say let's like counts. Just want to use something close to, you know, real word. Okay, let's like count equals string of 5. Okay, and then let's say love count. Okay, you know, just like we have on Facebook. All right, equals 3. Okay, so now let's do some okay, let's just console.log. Let's do like counts. I'm gonna say plus love counts. Okay, now let's see what's gonna happen here. Someone can guess already, right? Because these are string, right? So it's going to be what? It's going to be 53, and 53 here is not a number, it's a string. Okay, it's a string. So but if we want the number, assuming you are working on these variables and you really need to add them to something, you need the number. This is real number from, you know, the user, and but because you are getting it from, let's say, the HTML body, it's going to give it to you as a string, right? But before you can actually use it in some arithmetic operation, you then need to do what? Convert it to a number. And to be able to do that, what comes to mind now? That is the unary plus. Okay, so we're going to say console.log plus, right, like counts. Okay, and then we're going to say plus, then another plus love count, right? And then someone might think, oh, this is not valid. Why are we going to have plus plus? Well, this is valid because this is not just basic maths. Okay, this is JavaScript, and this is going to be treated as a unary plus, and this is also unary plus. So it's going to first work on this. Okay, because the precedence of this this unary plus is higher than the addition sign. Okay, so what I mean by precedence is, I'm going to show you maybe some precedence very shortly. Okay, is that this operation is going to happen first. This conversion is going to happen. This is going to happen before these two items add together. Okay, so someone can guess what this is going to be, right? It's going to be 8. Excuse me. So you can see, right, it's 8. And why is that? Because this converted to number first. This also converted to number before the addition operation happened. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, so okay, I was talking about the unary plus being of high precedence over the addition. Let me see, what can I remember? Okay, let's say unary plus, I think that is higher than unary negation, or I should say minus. Then we should have I think exponents, then I think multiplication, just like we have board mass, right? Multiplication, exponentiation, right? Excuse me. Then we should have multiplication of division, right? Division. Then we should have the, I think, additions then follow. You can see addition is even way down there, right? It's way down there. Then we have the subtraction, right? Subtraction. Then we have what do we have after we do all the, okay, I think we have equals, right? Assignments. We're going to get to that shortly. Assignments, which is just, you know, equals. When we say something is equals to something, right? This is addition. This is division. This is multiplication, which is denoted by asterisk, and this is exponentiation, and that is double asterisk. Awesome. So these are the, you know, the order. I think this is about 14 or thereabout. I'm not really sure now. I think it's about 14 in terms of the the order of precedence. Okay, this is like 13. This is like I think 12. This is like 12. This is 11. This is 11. That doesn't really matter as long as you know the order. So this is like 2. Okay, so You can see the order of the unary is way up there. Okay, awesome. So let's look at the assignment operator. Let's dive into the assignments. There are lots of them, okay, JavaScript operators, and that's why I'm trying to spend time to, to unravel all of them, okay, so that we get them in one place instead of doing different operators in different videos. You know, that would be a waste of all of our times. Okay, so let's note something. Okay, so about assignments. An assignment operator is important because it's one thing that actually return the value. Okay, it returns the values, the result of the operations that are carried out by the binary or the unary operation. Okay, and it is listed up there as one with the lowest precedence because it returns the value. The operations happen, get completed, and it returns the value. Okay, and really that's why when we assign a variable, something like let x equals to, actually I've used s before. Let's say s equals to, let's say, multiply by 2, or let's say plus 1. Okay, now let's console.log. Let's log, what are we logging now? Let's log s to the console. Okay, let's see what happens. Of course we're going to get whatever it is, right? 5. That is 2 times 2 plus 1. So meaning we did all of this first. You know, we evaluated the result of this, and then we assigned the value to s. We say, let's store it in s. Okay, we stored it in s, but we didn't just store 2 in s and store another 2 in s and store 1 and then evaluate it there. No, right? We did all the operation first, and then we assign it to s. Okay, it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. The assignment operator is pretty straightforward. It is pretty straightforward. You just make sure you follow, this order of precedence, or follow BODMAS, in doing your maths before you assign it. JavaScript is going to run it. It's going to do all those crazy stuff, and then we're just going to be chilling, okay, waiting for the results to be returned. So I'm going to do chaining assignments. And that is just as the name implies. Okay, we're going to be chaining some assignments. So I'm going to have an example here. So let's just declare some variables. So I was at q rstu. So let's say s. Let's declare this variable all at once. Let's say u. So I'm just I have s before. So let's say, oh my god, now I'm running out of variable names. Let's say, oh my gosh, let's say a. Do I know? Actually, let's just say, okay, you know what, let's invent variable name test a. Let's do that. Okay, test a, test b, test c. Now it can't shout at us. So now we are going to say something like let's see, test a equals test b, and that is also equals to test c. You can see what I'm driving at, right? And we're going to say equals 2. Then we can do all our calculation here. Let's say 4 plus 6. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so let's see what's going to happen now. So let's console.log test a. Actually, let's do it on a separate line. Console.log test b, right? Then console.log test c. Okay, and then let's see what happens. I'm really interested. You can see, right? They are all 12. They are all the same thing, right? And you can see they are coming from the different lines, right? Meaning that it's actually accurate, right? This, we said it should be equal to this, and this should be equal to this. Okay, so and that is simple because, I mean, it's better because we kind of have everything on the same line instead of jumping to a different line to do, you know, same thing, right? When we know that they are all going to be the same thing, right? So we basically just change the assignments, okay? We change the assignments since they are all going to be the same thing. So now I'm just going to, let's give ourselves some breathing space. I'm going to comment this out. Okay, let's comment this out also. Awesome. Excuse me. So let's do, let's modify in space, modify, not in space, in place. Let's comment that out. So modify in place. What are we modifying in place? Let's see. So this is very crucial for you in JavaScript. So let's say we have let's say ax, actually let's say xa, so I will use that. So xa equals let's say is equal to 2, okay, and so we can say xa, is that xa? Yeah, xa plus equals 5, okay. Basically, what does that mean? That means that if we console.log xa, what are we expecting to get? That is simple, right? Let's see, 7, and that is correct, right? You can see, right, it's coming from line 101. It is 7 because basically we are saying that we initialize xa variable with a value of 2, and then here we are adding a value of 5, an integer 5 to what? To xa, and xa was previously was previously 2. So basically here what we are saying essentially is that we are now saying that xa should no longer be 2, it should now be equals to what? Xa plus what? Plus 5. And the value of xa itself was what? Was 2. So basically we are saying xa is now 2 plus 5, and that is equal to what? 7. Okay, that is equal to 7. Equals to 7. Okay, it's as simple as that. And that is the same thing, you know, the same thing applies to multiplication and minus, you know. Let's just do one example. Let's say xb, okay, equals let's say is equal to 0. Then we can say console.log. Let's just log it to the console immediately so we don't have to be wasting time. Okay, so let's say actually, you know what, we should actually do that first. So xa minus equals let's see, minus equals let's say 2. Okay, let's see what we get. xa, and you can guess, right, what we are going to get. So you can see, right? Oh wait, what is going on? Sorry, that is a, it should be sb, should be sb. I didn't see that. That should be minus 2, right? Because we are doing 0 minus 2, and that is going to be minus 2. Okay, awesome, awesome. So now I'm going to look at the increment and decrement operator, which you remember I have it up there, see, right? Increment and the decrement operator. Okay, so I'm going to, okay, let's just type this first. Increments and decrement operator. Decrement operator. Okay, so let's just say count. Let's say counter or something, you know, that is easy to follow. So let's say counter equals 2, and then we say counter plus plus. That is the incrementer operator. Okay, the increment operator, which basically you know, it's more or less like saying counter equals counter plus 1. Okay, it's like we have counter equals 2, right? We initialize it with a value of 2, and now we are saying counter plus plus. So it's more or less like saying counter is no longer 2, it is now equals to what? That same value of counter plus what? Plus another 1. We increment it by 1. Okay, so now if we console.log, what is that? Counter. What are we expecting? We are expecting to have 3, right? 3, because we're basically, with this, we're saying we should increment this by 1, and that is now going to be equal to what? It's going to be equal to 3, okay? Awesome. It's as simple as that. But one thing to note though is the position of this incremental operator. If we have this incremental operator in the, okay, I think let's do it this way. Let's console.log counter plus plus. Now let's see what happened. You're going to see console.log plus plus counter. Now let's see what happened. Now let's, okay, already we are console.logging, right? Okay, actually, no. Let's now say console.log the counter itself without any operator, okay? Now let's see what happened, and I will explain, okay? You can see right here we have 3, we have 5, we have 5. Why is that? We started counter with 2, and then we increment by 1. Now we know that counter is equal, at this point, counter is what? Is equal to 3, right? Is that correct? Awesome. Now, what did we do? We then, we console.log and increment it. But at that point, when we were incrementing, when we were incrementing here, the value was still 3. You can see, right? It's coming from 113, and you can see 113. At this point, the value was still what? 3. But immediately after we showed this value as 3, immediately after we used this value here, we displayed it, we incremented it, and that is why at this point the value is 4, even though we are still seeing it as 3, right? And that is because we console.log, we log it to the console first as a value of 3, then we increment it, okay? And at this point, we increment it first before we console.log, okay? And that is why here the value is what is showing us as 5, right? It is 5 at this point, and we are seeing it here. And here, of course, it's already 5. We didn't do any increment or decrement. We just log it to the console, right? It's 5, right? Here we say it is 5. It is 4 here, but it's showing at 3. It was showing as 3, but it's already 4, okay? It moved to 4. All right, awesome. That is awesome. Let's comment this out so we can have some breathing space. We're looking for those console.log. Let's comment all these things out. We don't need them anymore. They have served their purpose, okay? Just bear with me while I remove all this so that we can have some breathing space up here, okay? Awesome. So let's go back here. We see, right? We have some breathing space. Okay, perfect. And the same thing honestly applied to the, the minus, the decrementer. So let's say counter, oh, we already have counter. Let's say counter A equals, let's initialize it by, with a value of 2 also. And then let's say counter A minus, okay. And let's say console.log counter A. What are we going to get? Let's see what we're going to get. And you can see, right, expectedly we have 1, and that is because we had 2 and then we decrement by what? By 1, because this minus operator basically just decrements whatever we are whatever we are working on, decrement that value by 1, okay? Awesome. Okay, so let's just do let's see, I think there is a comma operator which is not very popular, but let's just talk about it. Operator, okay? The comma operator. And the comma operator is basically, actually, let's use one example. Let's say, let's test, what variable are we yet to use? Let's say test D equals, let's say something like this. Let's say 2 multiplied by 3. It doesn't really matter. You can say anything. Let's say 5 minus 1. Okay. Now let's see what we get. Okay. Console.log test D. let's see what that gives us. You see, right, it gives us 4. And why is that? Now, basically, this one just give us the last value, the last operation, the last binary operation in this list. And that is what, it does. If we have more than, multiple items here, multiple operations going on here, separated by commas, it's going to just return the result of the last operation, okay? And it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that, okay? Awesome. So, I mean, if you know more about that, you could let us know in the comment section. I mean, we are all learning here, so nobody is an island of knowledge, okay? So now I'm going to quickly dive into the comparison operator. Comparison operator. The comparison operator. Let's say operators, because there are a lot of them. So we could have something like actually let me comment A greater than B, just the regular things that we know, A less than B, we could have greater than, less than, then we could have A greater than or equals to B, then we could have A less than or equals to B, right? Yeah, just the regular stuff, okay? And also we could have the equals. So this is the greater than, this is the less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, right? We could also have the equal, okay? The equals, which is basically saying something like A equals B. You understand? And you should note that this double equality sign basically means, equality test. We are checking if A is equals to B, okay? And you should also take note that this is different from when we have A equals B, okay? A equals B means that we are assigning a value of B to A, okay? But here we are checking, is A the same thing as B? Is B the same thing as A? We are checking that, okay? And also we have another comparison operator, which is the not equal, okay? Not equal. You are going to use this a lot, okay? I'm going to be releasing one big monster application building, a video about it very soon on this channel, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that, okay? Awesome. So the not equal is basically something like this, not equals to B, okay? So I'm just going to show you examples, let's say something like, let's just console.log, so we don't have to waste time, okay? Let's console.log, let's say 2 greater than 1. So when we have this this particular expression here, basically what we are saying is that, I mean, it's a statement, okay? What we are saying is that is 2 greater than 1, and it's going to return a boolean, okay? Let's say another thing. Let's say console.log. Let's check if 2 is equal to 1. Is that really equal? Let's see. You see, right? This is coming from line 137, and it is true. 2 is greater than 1. So it checks this comparison and returns a boolean value, okay? This checks the equality and returns a boolean value. So here 2 is checking if 2 is equal to 1. It is not equal, so it is falsy, and it's going to return a false, okay? It is as simple as that. And we could also have console.log, something like, let's say 2, if 2 is not equals to 1. And you can guess, right? That is going to be, it's going to be true, right? Because 2 is indeed not equal to 1, right? You can see it is true, okay? Awesome. So let's do some string comparison. Let's say string comparison, okay? So I'm going to basically just, throw out some things to the console and see what it gives us. Excuse me. So let's say Z is greater than A. So if we are comparing string, it's just going to use the alphanumeric order, okay? I mean, not alphanumeric order, the alphabetical orders to judge, okay? So let's say console.log, let's say John, actually a string. Is John greater than Johnny? Johnny, okay? And that is going to actually be false because it's following the alphabetical ordering. So you can see, right? Is Z greater than A? It is true, it's greater than A. Is John greater than Johnny? It is not, right? It is false because here they both have John, and then this has even more than John, right? It has double NY, okay? So yeah, it is. That is how we look at string comparison, okay? So let's look at something quickly. Let's say we have different types. Let me say comparing different types, okay? So if we have different types, let's take something like console.log, let's say we have a type of string, and then we are comparing it to a number type, okay? And then we have, let's say console.log, we have another type 0, 1, which is also of type string. Let's see if it's equal to 1, which is a number. Let's see what we get. You see, right? So this is basically asking if 2 is greater than 1, and this is asking if 0, 1 is equals to 1. And they both evaluate to what? To true. And that is why. That is because this first converts to what? It converts to number. It converts to number before it's compared the two, right? It converts this to the number type, and they also convert this to the number and checks. This converted to 1, and then you know, it did the comparison and says that it is true, okay? So it is as simple as that. So if you have that in your code, that is how you're going to deal with it, okay? Another thing, apart from, you know, this equalities comparison, is we have the street equality. The street equality is very vital because it helps you, you know, to really check for types, okay? It's check for the essence of this is to not just check for the equality, but also check for types. Check for types. And the type, you know what I mean by types now, right? If you didn't see my data types class on JavaScript, you can take a look at it now. You can take a look at it when you have time, so that you can go through what types is all about in JavaScript and how important it is and how we treat types, okay? So now let's just see what happened with this. So let's say console.log, let's say we have 0, let's say equals false. I'm just going to use one example or so here. Let's say console.log of let's say another 0, just, you know, to prove something, equals false. Now we are checking equality, right? But we are using different operators, okay? This is normal equality comparison operator. This is the street equality comparison operator, right? So let me remove this so that we can see. Let's remove this one. Let's remove this also. So let's come here now. You can see, right? Now this is coming from 153, right? 153, and it says it is true. 0 is false, and it is equals to false, so it's true, right? Then this is coming from line 154. 0 is 0, and false is false, but they are not the same. It says false. It says false because even though it is true here, it is false here because they are of different type. Here, this is a number. Here, this is a Boolean, okay? So they are of different types. Different types, okay? And that is why it's all of them. That is why this evaluated to what? To false. They are of different types, okay? Now let's look at the conditional operators. The conditional operators. We have one more, and this conditional operator is very important. Okay, so I'll really advise that you stick around to the end of this so that you don't miss anything. Okay, conditional operator. And the conditional operator is denoted by the question mark sign. Sometimes it is referred to as the ternary operator. Okay, we use it to kind of control the flow of of our programs. Okay, so let's say something. Let's access. Let's declare a variable. Let's access. Okay, let's access, or let me say let's access, or let's say access. Yeah, let's say access is allowed. Is allowed. That is a variable that we're declaring. And then let's say I'm just going to do it the old way. Then we'll do let age equals, say, something like 34. Okay, then let's do something. Let's say if, now we're going to kind of branch into the if else. Okay, if age is greater than 18, we are going to say access is allowed equals to, let's just say allowed again, doesn't really matter. Allowed, right? And then we're going to say else if that is not true. So else, we're going to say access. Let me just copy this so I don't. Else, we're going to say this is not allowed. Okay, not allowed. Okay. So now let's do something. Let's console.log. Let me bring this up. Console.log. Let me say some. Let me use the backticks. Okay. You are, and then the temperate literal. Where is that? My $sign. My favorite symbol on the keyboard. Access is allowed. Okay. And then we end that. Okay. Now let's see what's going on here. It says you are allowed. Awesome. I am 34. So basically here I have access is allowed is a variable that we're going to check to is the variable that we're going to use to decide if the person is going to gain access to a particular part of the application. And then we are checking the age variable, right? So we are saying, given a condition here, checking, we are using a comparison operator greater than operator here, right, to check if the age variable is greater than 18. If we say if it is greater than 8, then this variable access is allowed should be equal to allowed. Else, that is, if this is not greater than 18, if it is something else that is not greater than, that is maybe less than 18 or equal to 18, then it should be what? Not allowed. And here we are just basically spitting writing this to the console that you are whatever it is that we evaluate. So, but where this operator comes in is that we can write these things so easily without going through these if else things. So all we just need to do is to check the age, and we're just going to say age equals is age greater than 18? If that is so, we are just going to say then this should be equals to this. Okay, this is equal to this. Then we're going to say use the colon symbol to say s. That is what we used to say s in ternary operator. Okay, we're going to say that, right? And that is as simple as that. We don't need to do all this if s stuff, right? So, and that is simple. We're just going to say is age equals to this. Okay, then access is allowed is equal to allowed. S, access is allowed is equal to not allowed, right? And then we could, let me just cancel this. You're going to see now. We just need to cancel this, and then we need to bring this one with your option key down to bring that to the bottom. And it's still going to be the same thing, right? Let's see. You see, right? It's still the same thing. We don't have to do all this if else, chaining. Anyway, let's change this value so you can see that it's indeed correct. Let's say the age is now 12. Let's see. You see, right? You say you are not allowed. You are not allowed. Let me remove all these ones so that we can have some breathing space again. Let's remove all these guys, okay? Awesome, awesome. So let's see. You see, right? We have some breathing space. Perfect. Space is really good to have. Awesome. Okay, so I am going to leave that there. Just do the last thing and then we'll call it a day, and that is going to be the logical operator. Okay, the logical operator. And the logical operator is simple. You know, we have the, let me comment them out. We have the or, which is two lines, you know, is used to represent that, two vertical lines. Okay, on our keyboard you have it just above the, just on the same key as the backward slash, yeah. So we have that, which is the or operator. Okay, and we also have the and, which is represented with the ampersand. Okay, the ampersand. We have the or, which is the, the ampersand, which is the and. Okay, and then we also have the not, which is represented by the exclamation mark, which is the not. Okay, that is something is not something. And then we have the what's that thing called? Funny name like that. What is it called? So we have the not, that is the knowledge coalescence operator. Yeah, this one. It's called the knowledge coalescence operator. Awesome. So let's quickly look into all of this. So basically the or is used to, actually I'm going to just look at some items and then we call it a day. We're just going to, you know, use some of these items. Null or 1. Let's see what that evaluates to. Let's console.log. Let's say null or 0 or 1. Let's see what that evaluates to, and then let's say console.log null, actually let me say undefined or null or 0. Okay, so let's see what this gives us. Okay, and why is this so you can see null is nothing. If you remember in the last class we said null basically means nothing, like there is no value, okay, available. And we have 1. Basically we are comparing if this is, so here what is happening is that we are trying to get the first truthy value, that is the first item that is truthy, that is close to true, you understand, from the list that we are comparing here. Okay, now this operator is like the or. If this is false, then it will check the next one. So that's why we have the or this, right? So if this is truthy, so it's going to return this one. And in the same case, we have this one, null is like nothing, and this is like it's like falsy, and this is also like falsy. It's 0. It's like falsy, right? It's like 0 or 1. 0 is false, 1 is true, right? And this is true, and that is why it returns 1. And then here it will stop at the first truthy value. That is what is going to happen. And here also we have the undefined, the null, and we have 0. 0 is the falsy value. It's also falsy value here, just like we have here, right? But you can see this is undefined, this is null. These are all, actually these are all falsy, okay? But it's returning the last falsy value in the case that all of them are falsy. You understand, right? Awesome. So we use the or operator that way, just as the name implies. We use the or operation that way. But one quick thing that I would like to show us before we dive into another thing. Let's say let's first name equals empty string. Let's last name equals let's say another empty string, and let's say middle name, something like that. It doesn't really matter. We just want to explain something. Equals arrowed, okay? Just some really nice name. Anyway, so now let's say console.log Let me move this up a little so we can have some breathing space. Equals first name, or then we're going to check last name, or then we're going to check middle name. Then if that does not exist, we still have one more option. Or we should just use let's use Jacob. Okay, Jacob. Awesome. Now let's see what this gives us. You see, right? So now we have Harold. And why is that? Now it is simple, right? It's because we have first name as empty, last name as empty, middle name does exist, right? So it checks this. It says that this is falsy. This is falsy, meaning it is nothing. It contains nothing. It is not true. It does not exist, right? It is an empty string. It is falsy, but then it hits the middle name. It says that middle name is what? Is Harold. It's existing. But if middle name is also not existing, then it will be what? It will be Jacob. Now let's try that. Let's remove middle name and let's see what happens. You see, right? It is Jacob. And this is actually, similar to the knowledge coalescence operator, whereby instead of having, or, we just use whatever name we want to do. Actually, let me do that. We're going to say something like this: console.log. We're going to say first name. We're going to say first name. Actually, let me do some string concatenation here, plus last name. Then I'll say that actually, let me just make it a little simple. Let me say this, then let's say Azan. It doesn't really matter, we can use anything. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so first name is not there, but then we have the knowledge coalescence operator, and it's still not giving us what we expected to have. So why is that? Let's see what is going on here. So the first name is undefined, and then we have this one, but it's still not giving us. So this should be Hassan, because we have the knowledge coalescence operator. Okay, first name is this, is empty. Okay, I think I know what's going on, because it does exist. This one would be when it does not exist at all, when it is undefined. Yeah, so here, when it is null, let's see. Yeah, you can see, right? So because this one it's even though it was kind of an empty string, it does not, it sees it as falsy, and it returns this one. But then if we are using the knowledge coalescence operator, it has to be nullish, like the value has to be null for it to then consider the option that we gave to it, right? And that is how that one is used. And I will just say that has been covered, the knowledge coalescence operator. The knowledge coalescence oh my god, coalescence. I keep forgetting this thing. Anyway, so that is how that is used. Now I'm going to quickly look at the, I think, second to the last one. So let's just console.log a bunch of stuff, just to something that we can use to explain this. Let's say and 0, and I'm going to say console.log one hand, let's say 7, and let's say no. Now let's see what we get. I'm going to first comment out these ones. Yeah, let's comment out this one also, and let's comment out this one. Now let's see what we get. Now we are looking at the, you can see, right here we have a truthy value, and then we have a falsy value, and then it returns the falsy value, right? So basically it's returning the first falsy value here when we have the ampersand, the AND operator, okay? So it returns 0, and here it returns no, the string no, which is kind of falsy. Okay, so we have this one as truthy, and we have this one as truthy, and then we have this one as falsy, and it returned that. Okay, so but basically what this means is that the ampersand, when we use the ampersand, in coding, is basically trying to check if those things are true. Okay, if those things are true, then something is going to happen, right? So if those things are true, like if we use the ampersand to check two variables, if they are true, then we want to do something. But in this case, when we use it this way, in comparison here, where it's used as a logical operator to check the first falsy value, just like we have here, right? In the, where is that one? In this one, we are checking the first truthy value. You understand, right? And when all of them are falsy, we are checking the last falsy, returning the last falsy. But here we are going to return the first falsy value, the first falsy value, and that is as simple as that. And I'll just do one more, and we call it a day. Console.log, let's say 1 hand, 2 hand, null hand, let's just say something 6. Okay, now let's see what we get. And as you can see, as expected, I have null because this is the first falsy value, and I did that just to prove to you that this is going to repeat, is going to return the first occurrence of a falsy value, right? And null is falsy. All these are truthy. Of course, it's not even going to get to this place. It's going to stop and return this falsy value. Okay, it's going to return the falsy value, and that is as simple as that. And just before we call it a day, I'm going to look at the nots, and console.log, let's say it's basically just going to return the opposite of that thing. Okay, so console.log, let's say exclamation mark 0. Okay, so let's see what we get. It's just going to say true, false and true. True itself, if it doesn't have this exclamation, it's going to be true, right? But now it's false because we are saying not true, so it's going to be false. Here we are saying not 0, so it's going to be true. Okay, it's going to convert it to the true. Okay, to the boolean, and which is the true, right? 0 is false, then opposite of false is true, and it's as simple as that. And I will call it a day here. I believe we have learned a lot in this operators class, and I hope you guys can practice more and understand how operators are used in JavaScript, because if you have a good grasp of operators, how they are used in JavaScript, then you are kind of one leg up, when compared to other folks who really don't understand how to use this, because you're going to be using this a lot to manipulate data in your code, and if you don't have a good knowledge of this, then that would not be good. Okay, so I will call it a day here, and please share this video, and so just so we reach more people with this education, and help us subscribe. If you have not subscribed already, please subscribe, and like this video, please, so that YouTube can recommend it to more people who want to learn programming. And like I have said before on this channel, we are going to be releasing videos every week, and on different programming languages. Okay, and I hope to catch you next time. Bye, and have a good one.